Greetings, Eric the Car Guy viewer. I am Eric the Car Guy, your host for this week's FATR number 39. For those of you not familiar with what FATR is, it's Fridays at the Red Line. And on this show, well, I pretty much present to you the videos that you present to me for the whole group to look at and check out and comment on. I like to keep things automotive related if at all possible. But at the end of this program, we will talk a little bit about how you can submit videos for this program, this FATR thing that we do here on Fridays on Eric the Car Guy. On with the show, this is it. In our last FATR, we sort of did the time waster format, and I just shot out a bunch of videos, boom, 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 and then we caught up at the end of the program. And honestly, I like that format. It's easier for me to edit and gives you a little more time with the videos, and also saves me the trouble of trying to pronounce names that I can't pronounce, because not so good with the fat American tongue, as I've said in the past. But the first thing I'd like to talk about, I'm just going to do a lead in on two of these. The rest, we're just going to let roll. But the first thing I'd like to talk about is earlier in the week, there was a Ferrari pileup in Japan. Yes, Ferrari pileup. And I think the total damage was somewhere above $1 million, where these Ferraris all in a club were like flying down the highway, and one of them did something wrong, and it's a sad sight to see. In fact, Ferrari's probably rolling over in his grave right now going, ugh. Well, maybe not. Maybe he's happy that he got a whole new fleet of cars to drive. Look on the bright side. Always look on the bright side. If you're going to be a mechanic for a living, always look on the bright side. If not, you're going to be miserable. The other thing I want to do a lead in on, and the Ferrari thing, that's mine. That's my contribution to this week's FATR. Yes, I'm actually getting one in. Me, Eric the Car Guy, getting one to you. The other thing is, my dad has been making some seriously good contributions, and come on, he's my dad, so of course I'm gonna read his email, plus he has my personal email address. He sent me this one on I'll call it Dad's Car Story, and I gotta tell you, if you've ever loved a car, and if you're watching this program, you've probably been in love with a car. I remember as a teenager, I used to sit with my girlfriend while I stared at my car, and that car wasn't really much to stare at, but for some reason I was completely and totally in love with it. So you will understand, and probably might even pull a tear out of your eye if you watch this entire story, because it's a pretty stinking incredible story. I'll put that one on, I believe, at the end. I always like to put dad stuff on at the end. Those are the only two I'm gonna lead in with. The guy drinking the motor oil, I don't know how to comment on that, but I'm sure you will. But right now, let's just roll into FATR 39 and the videos I have for you today. Enjoy. Oh, sorry. But before I send you to that, all the links for all these videos, the complete videos, are down in the description. Just click the link and go watch the video of your choice. So links to everything in this video that you're about to see. Okay, now go for it.
1台1000万円以上する高級スポーツカーが次々と事故を起こし、見るも無残な状態になっています。近くを走っていた人によると、このスポーツカーは140キロから150キロの猛スピードで走っていたということです。
In this module, we will explain how a vehicle's ignition system works and why you can rely on genuine Ford and Motorcraft ignition parts. Nowadays, most vehicles feature a computer-controlled or distributorless ignition system, where the control module and the triggering device from older ignition systems are replaced by a crank position sensor and a powertrain control module, or PCM.
Today, we travel to small town Mount Joy, Pennsylvania, to have a look at what we call a super wagon. It's stylish, practical, and can keep up with most supercars. It's the Volvette. This super wagon retains an all-aluminum 5.7-litre twin-turbocharged LS1 motor.
Meet Muhammad Omar, a man who drinks motor oils and says they're great natural energizing drinks. The Yemeni mechanic who lives in Mecca, Saudi Arabia, says he's been drinking brake oils and lubricants as part of his diet since he was 17 and began working as a mechanic. Omar's lifestyle is unique to him, and we certainly do not recommend trying it out. When we met him, we wanted to see how a man who consumes engine oils and petrochemicals seems to be leading a normal lifestyle.
some of these use music that trips YouTube's radar, so I just take the music out completely since I'm just showing you the video clip. So on a few of these, I'm going to jump in and just do a little bit of commentary instead of running that music. But this is Drivelapse USA, and in addition to posting a link to this video, there's also going to be a link to this website down below in the description so that you can check out how he did it, what kind of car he used, all kinds of fun stuff.
Changing the oil is quick, doesn't cost much, and you'll get a chance to get your hands dirty and maybe meet one of those girls who will think that you're a man's man who can not only kill spiders with aplomb and give amazing oral, but also maintain his motorbike. Every motorcyclist should be able to change the oil on his bike. It's one of those essential things that every two-wheeled aficionado should know. Like every line from Mad Max, Charlie's copped the saucepan to the throat. And that Honda is actually the Japanese word for without soul. So you'll need some tools, which ones specifically I'll explain along the way if you're nice, some old rags or new rags if you're flippant and rich, 2 and a bit litres of oil and more information on that controversial subject later, something sealable to put the old oil in, a clean drip tray, a funnel for pouring wet...
Okay, here's another one that had some music in it that I couldn't use. But this amphibious car, truck, whatever you want to call it, probably the fastest one of these I've ever seen, and I think part of it's because those wheels retract up in there, and it's got an actual hull to it, and it moves pretty fast, and it's, you know, kind of stylish, and you know, I think you'll like the ending on this one if you actually click and watch the whole thing. I love rat rides, and this one's in Pittsburgh, and if you look closely on the engine, I'm trying to figure out what the whiskey bottle is for, but it sort of fits the motif, I think. But rat rods, I think those are cool. Plus, it saves on bodywork and paint, man.
I do remember sitting in the back seat, feeling like the car was so big and so strong, and having my dad and mom in the front. And I remember with my brother having to hold on tight when my dad would go around corners. My dad bought a 1965 Chevy Impala SS Super Sport with everything he had. I think he cherished the car, not just because he was the first owner and he drove it off the lot, but it was more than a car to him. It really was his baby.
I thought that was a pretty awesome set of videos. If you would like to make a submission to the FATR, please send it to eric@ericthecarguy.com, that's my email address, and put FATR in the subject line. I've got a special folder in my email, I put those things in there and I check them out when I have time and go through them. Those days are kind of fun, and I do see things more than once. And don't put any automotive related questions or anything along with those submissions. Just put the link to the video and your name as you wish for it to appear on the screen, should it end up on the FATR. I won't be responding to those emails. Honestly, I don't have time, because think about it, I'm watching video after video after video. It's fun, but I just don't have time to respond. So please don't put any automotive questions or anything like that in there. What you can do with your automotive questions is head on over to EricTheCarGuy.com. There is a search function at the top of the website to where if you type in a couple of keywords, and I say this a lot, just a couple of keywords in the search box, or if you have OBD2 codes and you want to find out what that code means, somebody pulled the code for you. There's even some OBD1 codes in there. You just type in the code into that search box and bam, it comes up with bunches of information, videos, it comes up with forum threads, all kinds of things, and we are working on refining that search so it gets a little smarter every day. I crack the whip on my code monkey trying to get him to make that better. Okay, so yes, if you have automotive questions, start there at the search function at EricTheCarGuy.com. I put together a database to try and answer as many of those questions as I possibly could, just as an FAQ, not to mention the great people over at the Eric the Car Guy forum, which is the next thing. So if you don't find an answer, if you type in the keywords on the search, then please sign up for the forum. It's free, and ask your question there in the service and repair section. I go there, that's where I answer questions. Okay, I'm going to say that. It's getting impossible for me to answer questions on YouTube and elsewhere, Facebook, all that kind of stuff. Normally, the place that I go to answer questions, and you get a much faster answer, and from a whole bunch of different people, because guess what? I don't know everything. There's a lot of people out there that know other stuff that I don't know. I might know stuff that they don't know. We all get together as a community and try to help you. and love my forum people. You're watching right now, thank you. Seriously, thank you. I am Eric the Car Guy. You can always find me at EricTheCarGuy.com. Hey, we talked about that. Or you can follow me on Facebook and Twitter, and now on Google+. I should post a link to that also down in this particular FATR, so that if you want to do that. Also, there's an icon on the footer of my website that you can click on that. And there's also a new one for my Flickr. So on the website, you got a couple of new things. Be safe, have fun, stay dirty, and thank you so much for watching. See you next week.